What is good, guys? It's your boy Gamers Goon here today, and we're going to talk about a great show last night in Takeover Chicago. I would have talked about this last night, but Takeover Chicago, we can all admit, wasn't the normal kind of show. Takeover Chicago still is leaving me speechless. Last night I said it, and today I'm going to say it again. The show they just put on might be the show of the year. It so far is the show of the year. I don't know if it will be topped by Brooklyn or New York or Los Angeles, and I'm 100% sure it probably won't be topped by any main roster pay-per-views. But the show we witnessed last night was really good. There's a lot of things I loved about this NXT show, and it's going to start with the NXT Championship match for the tag team division. So, to start off the night, they kicked it off with the Undisputed Era. Obviously, Bobby Fish is still hurt. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole all coming out to fight Oney Larkin and Danny Burch. At one point in the match, I was really believing that Larkin and Danny Burch were legit. I thought they might actually have a small chance of winning. And it was when Larkin went on his reign of moves that he had in his fast-paced way. Eventually, Adam Cole was thrown away by the referee. And O'Reilly and Roderick Strong both were, attempted to be in a double submission. And that didn't end up happening. Then Strong went with his clothesline. And then, obviously, O'Reilly and Strong hit their tag team finish and beat Oney Larkin and Danny Burch. This match was a great way to open the show. I was not very high on this match. I was like, you know what, it might be a match you throw in there between, per se, Velveteen Dream and then Aleister Black's match. I mean, that's what I would use it for, as a hindrance. But this match, it went way above my expectations. I did not think that I was going to believe in Larkin and Danny Burch, but at one point in the match, the way Oney Larkin looked, I was like, they might actually win this. This match was really good, and it was a great way to open the show. There's no better way you could have opened the show. That match, a nice, good tag team match, probably the best tag team match of the year so far. I can't think of one that topped it, but it looked really good to start off Takeover Chicago, and it started off on a high note, and it gets even better going on throughout the show. And this is the next match, Ricochet and Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream's only 22 years old, so he has a high ceiling. And like I said on my predictions yesterday, I believe Ricochet was going to win. And Ricochet did end up winning. A lot of people were excited about this match, me included. And this match did deliver. Velveteen Dream came out looking like Hulk Hogan. He had the Dream-a-mania or whatever was going on. He had the scarf. He had the headband thingy that Hogan wore back when he was around. And this match couldn't have delivered any better. The whole purpose of this match was, anything Ricochet can do, I can do better. That's what Velveteen Dream was saying. And Velveteen Dream did really good in this match. Obviously, Ricochet with all his flips and stunts. Okay. Velveteen Dream, he did some of that, and he mocked Ricochet a little bit during the match, and it looked great. Obviously, Dream, like I said, lost. Ricochet did also imitate Velveteen to get in Velveteen's head, and this match was really spectacular. Dream went for the Purple Rainmaker, didn't hit. Ricochet ended up hitting a 630 splash off the rope and ended up winning. The match was great. This match was everything I expected it to be and some. This match besides the Gargano and Ciampa match, was the match of the night. Now, I had a lot of people coming at me and saying, Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan put on a pretty good show for what everybody expected. You can say that, yeah, they did. They had a good match too. But this match, for me, this was where this is what I was saying. This match was going to be one of the best matches of the card and a candidate for match of the year, and I was correct. This match was great. Ricochet, Velveteen, they're both the future of the company. Ricochet has a very high ceiling, and Velveteen, I don't even know where his ceiling is, it's so high. Velveteen has a really bright future ahead, and he still has at least 15, 16 more years in the company. He's only 22, and he just put on a great match with the Ricochet. You can't tell me that Velveteen Dream is not going to be something special when he gets up to main roster, if treated correctly. Velveteen Dream I can see being a huge piece to bring in younger fans and older fans that liked the gimmick kind of like Goldust back in the day. Velveteen Dream is really good at what he does. He lives his gimmick, and he's putting on great matches. Nobody better than Velveteen right now in NXT, in my opinion. Velveteen Dream has been ecstatic. He's been the best. There's nothing else you could say. It's Velveteen Dream. Next is a match that they could have gave you some more, but I didn't mind it. This whole match was basically based off the fact that Nikki Cross earlier said that she's going to smile through all the beatings that Shayna Baszler gives her. She's not going to be pinned, and she's not going to tap out. Now, there was some spots in here where Cross got her obvious offensive spots in, but it wasn't going to be enough to beat Shayna Baszler. And obviously, at the end of the night, Baszler was going to have to win. She ended up trying a crucifix, didn't work. And then when she put Nikki Cross in a rear naked choke and ended up winning. Nikki Cross fainted out to the choke, and she was smiling throughout it all. Until the very last second where she fainted, she was smiling through it all. And Nikki Cross looked good in the match by taking the beating like she should have, like she said she would, but she didn't get enough offensive spots on as I thought she should have. I thought this match could have been a little bit better than what it was. I'm not going to tarnish it too much because it was pretty good. Next, we have a match that a lot of people were coming at me and saying, you know what, this match could have been the match of the night if it wasn't for Ciampa and Gargano. I was like, The match wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Lars Sullivan looked great. Aleister Black, obviously, in this match, the match got good when Aleister Black missed his first black mass. Or, well, he hit the first black mass, but they were going off of, he didn't get all of it because of his leg. Aleister had his leg somehow hurt. And then he failed to pin Lars, and then he gets Lars up, and then he goes again. He keeps going with the kicks to the face, and Lars starts to bleed. This was a great sight. Lars was bleeding through his mouth, blood dripping from his mouth, his teeth all red, and then Black Mass 2 comes and ends up beating Lars Sullivan. Aleister Black looked great. Lars Sullivan looked like the toughest opponent we've seen Aleister Black have. And that's how it should have been. That's how it should have been. Aleister Black obviously wasn't going to lose to Lars Sullivan, but Lars Sullivan is a beast. Lars Sullivan is a guy that I'm high on, and I think he's really good. And I think what they did with Lars Sullivan bleeding and taking 2 black masses, it made Lars Sullivan look strong, and it made Aleister Black stay strong by keeping the NXT Championship. And what else was there to say? That match was pretty good. Obviously, I would have liked to see it, the moment where, where he goes for the flip onto the outside where Lars is there, and then he comes down and he is acting all peaceful. We didn't get that moment in this match, but it's obvious you have a guy like Lars Sullivan in there. There's just not really a time to take a break when you have to constantly keep Lars down. Aleister Black was running this match faster than we've seen him start a match, and Aleister Black was trying to stay on top of Lars, and it turned out to be a pretty good match. A lot of people didn't think it was going to be a great match. People said that they had low expectations for it, and it ended up blowing them out of the water. I would agree. I didn't have low expectations for the match because I'm high on both men. But I had medium expectations, and they definitely did exceed their expectations. And the last match. This one is the match that made me not want to talk last night. It's not because it was bad. It's because it was good. If I were to talk last night about this match, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, my whole show, this whole podcast would be revolved around this match. You would hear maybe a collective 2 minutes of everything else. And then the rest of the 10 or so minutes would be Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. So, the match starts in a unique way, right? So, they're in the back, Johnny Gargano walking down, you can hear his music starting to play. Candice LeRae comes out, and she gives him the crutch, and tells him, you better beat Ciampa. Beat him. He has the crutch. He goes down to the ring. Then Ciampa comes out with his own crutch. Obviously, one-upping Gargano. Knew Gargano was going to bring a crutch, so he brought a crutch. And the match, they started with a crutch joust. It was cool. Obviously, nobody got hit with the crutch at the beginning. And then, obviously, Ciampa starting to attack Gargano. Goes on to the outside. Gargano goes into the crowd and starts attacking Ciampa. Gives him some fists. And Ciampa looks at a sign that says Johnny Wrestling with the little face, the emoji face, and he tries to rip it. Obviously, Gargano doesn't want that fan that's obviously a fan of his to have his sign ripped, so he ends up taking out Ciampa, grabbing the sign, and hitting Ciampa over the back with it. Then he rips the sign, and there's a stop sign in it. Then he starts beating Ciampa with the stop sign. Looked great. It looked great. Then they go back into the ring, and Gargano starts throwing in everything. The chairs, the trash cans, kendo sticks, everything that you can name. And Ciampa ended up getting out of all this, and Ciampa went to get handcuffs. So he tried to get the handcuffs onto Gargano, but Gargano wouldn't let him do it. Gargano would not let him put the handcuffs on him. And then, when he finally gets Ciampa on the ground, Gargano takes off the belt, pulls it up, and starts beating Ciampa over the back with the leather belt. It looked brutal. He took at least 15 shots on the back, and you could hear the clap. It had to have hurt. Ciampa, then on his knees, Gargano gets a trash can, puts it over, and then does the super kick onto the trash can, which hits the face of Gargano, or hits the face of Ciampa. And it looked good. But then Ciampa gets control back, starts hitting him, hits him with the chair, and then Ciampa goes to the outside of the ring. He's looking for something. He sees the or I don't know what they're called, whatever they're called, the scissor things, and he starts cutting the strings holding the ring apron onto the ring, and then he starts pulling it up, And then he takes the padding off. I was like, oh, wow. They're really doing this. They're really going to show you what this feud's about. This isn't just wrestling. This is, like, more than that. Obviously, the company wouldn't want to pull their padding off to risk a real injury. They wouldn't want to do that. But they had to show you it was more. And when they did this, I was like, no way. They're actually going to do something. They didn't end up doing anything right away. The match ended up going up to the, up towards where the entrance is. And Gargano gets thrown right in to the LED board just like he did 392 days prior to that event last night. And Gargano, obviously, snapping. And he sees that Ciampa has a hurt knee. Starts going into the hurt knee once he gets back in the ring. Ciampa trying to strap it back up. Then it goes back, and they have 2 tables set up right near where the I forget what they're called, the press boxes are. And this Ciampa starts climbing Gargano up there, and Ciampa, he takes the wedding ring off of Gargano, spits on it, and throws it. And then Ciampa was going to go after Gargano. He was going to give Gargano and send him plummeting into the tables. But Gargano gets him into the fireman's carry, drops him down. And it looked like he landed on his head bad. It did. It looked like it hurt. They put Ciampa on a stretcher. And Gargano's sitting there, just like Ciampa did in Takeover Chicago last year. Sitting there, looking at his beaten brother, like this. And then they start carting him towards the back. And then Gargano starts to see that his ring's off. He starts to get mad. He starts to see everything that's been going on. Everything that happened to him. He starts to remember it all. He starts to remember that he had put his wife, Candice LeRae, in danger. He starts to remember that he spat in his face and turned his back on him just a year ago. And Gargano snaps. He goes after the injured Ciampa. He takes the stretcher down into the ring. He gets the handcuffs on Ciampa, and he starts beating Ciampa. Kick after kick after kick after kick. And Ciampa just collapses. And then you have everybody. Everybody from the back, not like the performers, but every person, the tech team or whatever it was, trying to pull Gargano off. He keeps going back for more. It looked chaotic. It looked like they had no control over what Johnny Gargano was doing. It looked like Johnny Gargano just completely had enough. And then he comes back. He finally gets back away from security. He knocks a couple men out. He shoves the cart at the other security member. He runs around to the side that had the exposed ring apron. Has the flat wood. Ciampa out of nowhere gets up. DDT right in to that exposed canvas. 1, 2, 3. Ciampa won. Ciampa stumbles out of the ring. The ref's holding his hand up. He still has the handcuffs on. Ciampa looked amazing. And that match was by far the best match that I've ever seen a street fight have. That match was amazing. I don't know what else I could say. I don't know what else there is. But the way that match was, anybody, a casual, could watch that and they'd be impressed. I don't know what to say about that, and I'm gonna get out of here because that match was brilliant. That's the only thing I can say about that match. After saying that match, the only thing I can say is wow. I'm gonna leave you guys there, and I'll see you guys in my Money in the Bank reactions and review later on, either tonight or tomorrow morning. Depends if I'm disappointed or not. If the show was so-so, I doubt it's gonna be like this, where it's just gonna be amazing. But if it's not too bad, I'll review it tonight. If it's bad or really good, I'll review it tomorrow morning. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow or today. Depends when you guys watch this. Anyways, see y'all. I'm out.